All right, ladies and gentlemen, you've seen it in the title. You know what this is about. We got a wet weather strategy to get you a dub in the F1 Manager 22. As you can see, I'm showing you qualifying ending here. I'm using Mercedes. George Russell qualified fifth. Lewis Hamilton, I believe, qualified seventh. I actually simmed the qualifying. I simmed most of the qualifying, but there was a wet qualifying, which actually helped me understand um, how the weather works in this game a little better. Because if you don't understand the intricacies of how the weather works in this game, it can mess up your strategy real bad. One of the first things you see in here, I'm setting up my guys. I put them both on mediums, and I'm gonna have them just destroy the tires because heavy rain's gonna hit about 20 laps in. I can have them destroy these tires with max pace. Those tires would still last into the 20s. So I want them to just completely just blow these tires out of the water and then switch straight to inters and wets. I don't plan on using any other dry tire besides these mediums. I would do softs, but in this game, honestly, softs don't make a difference. Your best bet is when it comes to soft tires, just mediums and hards. Never use softs.
And
Mediums and
beautiful
hards
blue skies
are your
overhead
best
as the
bets.
drivers
You
line up
get
on
the
the
most
grid.
life out of them, and you still get the same speed.
And here we've got George Russell. They might not be in the top three spots, but things could change fast once the race gets underway. We've got the other Mercedes here. With a top 10 position on the grid, this race could really go either way for them. And we're just moments away now. And this is it, the Miami Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go.
All right. Now the strategy starts right here on lap one. Like I said earlier, I have the pace maxed out for both of my drivers. The reason I'm doing this, I want them to get as much out of these tires as possible. If you've paid much attention to when you're actually messing with things like your pace and your fuel and your ERS, you know.
It's a race position gained for Mercedes.
When I would say if you're not a Red Bull or a Ferrari user, but all the other ones from Mercedes down to Williams, having that pace at max is the only way you can actually put up a fight against whatever field you're in. Like as with me using Mercedes here, I can only ever keep up with Red Bull or Ferrari if I am running max pace and also dipping in and out of using extra fuel while also micromanaging our ERS usage. It's it's bad. So the fact that I am going to do as well as I'm going to do in this video with Mercedes up against these teams, it'll show you that if your strategy is sound, you can win a race. Because I have the best I've done so far in this series, which I think Miami is race 3 or 4. So the best I've done is two third places with Lewis Hamilton, or a third and a second, something like that. That's it. Two podiums with Lewis. That's it. But I mean, I've kept Russell in the top 6 and 7 also. Like usually it's the Red Bulls and the Ferraris taking the first 4 slots, and then Russell Hamilton, and then Bottas, because Bottas just gets on my nerves. I don't think he bugs me much in this race though. But um, with some good strategies and me figuring out how to mess with all these little parts here and there, I've been able to get Lewis and Russell to beat out like Perez most of the races. So usually it'll be Leclerc, Sainz, and Verstappen somewhere as the top three. And then Hamilton and Russell, we usually jump Perez and beat him. Because there's another strategy I want to show you guys. I'll have that in another video. I'll call it my little piggyback maneuver. It really only works when I have my two drivers together with space. So if I run into another race where I can implement that strategy, I'll make a video on that too. But for here so far, all you're getting right now is just me keeping my guys close to the front runners. I plan on winning this race. Whether or not I do, I don't know. But as long as as long as I keep in the DRS of these guys, I have a chance. I just need them to run wide, wreck, something like that. You never know what happens. But also by doing this, it gets everybody from seventh place down away from us. Because once I also do the high pace strategy to keep people out of our DRS. Once we get the other guys out of our DRS, it's easier for us to keep up with the other guys because we don't have to fight people for positions. Because obviously you can tell your drivers not to fight each other, which I use that a lot. Now, I feel like I've been talking your head off about a whole bunch of nothing that has nothing to do with what this video is supposed to be about. So let's get back to it.
All right, I'm back now, and this time I'm actually going to talk about the strategy. As you can see, so I pulled this up here. So for this, I hit R2 for strategy view, and then I would go over to the track. And what you see here, the blue line track water, that tells you what your water levels are going to be throughout the race. So from looking at the one that I was just looking at, I kind of almost memorized it, but it was like mid 20s or early 20s is when it would reach the level for enters. So my whole strategy here is I want to get to the lap just before you need to put enters on, and I'm going to send one of my guys in to get the tire put on. I'll explain that more when we get closer to that point. As you see, I keep pulling it up here because I know I got my guys solidly where they need to be. So I just need to keep track and make sure I'm doing these things at the right time. So I'm looking at it here now, and it would be literally lap 20. I would want to send my guy in on lap 20, but here's the kicker. So the way the game works, so it was showing that it'd be time for enters basically start of lap 20. Actually, so yeah, I believe I sent my guy on lap 19 actually. So, reason being, the way the game is set up, how it says it'd be time for enters on lap 20, at the start of lap 20, that lap number and anything affected by it goes off of whoever is in first place when they hit that lap. So, like we have Leclerc in first, and he's soundly going to be in first one by the time this comes up. So, what's going to happen is the moment Leclerc starts lap 20, the water levels on the track will go from dry to enters like almost instantly. So like if you're a back runner, so like if I was like, let's say Aston Martin, I would on lap 19 I would be pitting one of my guys, because by the time he reaches the pit, lap 20 would have already been halfway done by Leclerc, and the track would already be wet and ready for enters. So I'm gonna show a little more of it. I'm gonna fast forward past these past couple laps here to show it a little more in depth, and then so I can actually talk about everything as it happens.
It looks like the rain really started.
And as you see there, we get the message, and the track water numbers are just flying up. So at this point here, I'm telling Lewis, end of this lap, go in. By the time he makes it there, it will be time for enters. Honestly, I might have even done better to send him in for enters to start this lap, because by the time he gets back around, everybody else would already be in the process of stopping for enters, and it could have allowed me to stop Russell for enters sooner, because I kind of screwed Russell here. But it does work out somewhat. But so for this part here, it's time for enters. We're getting everybody switched over. Now this race does go full wet. And that is where the biggest part of this plan comes into action. Because also, when you're running a wet race, whether it's full wet or enter, in certain situations you can run either tire. So like I could technically throw a full wet on and still be fine, because if you're looking at that blue line on that graph, it goes up very high multiple times throughout this race, and that's gonna play a role into my tire choices. But I do start everybody on enters for the first round of it here coming up. All right, at this point everybody's on enters, and as you can see, first for this graph here, if you notice, by lap 25 we'll need full wets. Lap 25 is the signal for full wets. So I believe I want to send Russell on 24 to full wets, because Hamilton will activate it by starting lap 25. But as you can see right now, Hamilton is still behind Sainz, and I believe Russell is behind maybe Verstappen or Checo. He's behind Checo. But if you look at the pace for both of my guys is on max. One, we're switching to wets within 3 laps. 2, the CPU does not run at max pace. So by having your guys run at max pace, you can get your guys to quote unquote outpace the CPU. So if, as you see here coming up, Hamilton's running down Carlos and Russell is running down Checo. I think he might even run down one more person by the time he switches. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm a little iffy on that part. He might run down Shaw. Not sure. But so the whole setup for this here is you want people behind the leader to be able to get into the pits when the leader activates the track condition changes, if that makes sense. I'll show you here within about 2 more laps, but as you see, Hamilton is the wet weather king in F1. I don't think I have not seen a wet race with Hamilton in real life where he does not basically dominate. And in the game, he will do it. He's going to dominate this race at this point, because he's going to pass Sainz, and for some reason, since the CPU will not up their pace, and I'm going to keep my pace maxed to this entire race, or at least until I feel comfortable, he's just going to run away with it. And here it is. I stopped talking for like half a second, and he's going past him. And the crazy thing is, Lewis is going to be more than a second away from Sainz before he starts this next lap. But as you're going to see coming up here, now Lewis is going to basically start the lap, and it'll change the rain. So you can see the rainfall just going up like crazy. It'll be time for wets, basically, as Lewis is coming up to the checker flag. So that's why I switched over to Russell here, because it's going to be time for me to send Russell in. But the game got kind of finicky on me. Well, you'll see here in a second. But like as you see, Lewis basically passed the threshold to where he could go in to pits. So now it's on Lewis to get in there, or it's on Russell, excuse me. So I tell Russell to go in, but because he was in the middle of jockeying for position between 2 other cars, he doesn't get inside. So he just keeps going. But right there, Russell would have went in and came out on full wets and been set for the rest of the race against everybody else. And now coming around, I'm sending Lewis in for full wets. So I don't remember when I switch it over, but I'm 99% sure I sent Lewis in for full wets here. Usually when I'm sending a guy in to pit, I max out I put everything on the highest level. Like, just go as fast as you possibly can, don't wreck, and get in the pit lane. So max deploy ERS, extra fuel usage, max pace, get to pit. That's what Hamilton's going to do. Now, Russell, I'm still going to send Russell in because he still has to go in. Luckily, there's enough distance between my guys to where it won't really hurt Russell when he gets in the pit. So it still works out for me. But Russell could have been in clean air and already been on his way. He wouldn't have to like battle, who's that? Leclerc and Checo in the pits. But it's okay. So we're coming around here. Lewis is gonna go in. He'll make it out. Russell will come in right behind him. I'm chopping most of this video up because I don't want it to be too long. So I'm gonna try to wait it out for them to do their pit stops. But honestly, if I don't really see anything too notable to talk about happening, I'm probably just gonna chop some more up and skip ahead because the race gets pretty dead from this point.
Yeah, copy. Temps are climbing. Temps are now climbing.
Understood.
And think about increasing lift and coast just a little.
Yep.
That's lift and coast. Copy. So we're struggling with tyre temps at the moment. Copy.
All right, now that we got the pit stops out of the way, as you can see when you click on the tires where my pace is at, you can see these tires will take us to the end of the race. So from 25 to 57. Now it's gonna dip, the wetness will dip into enters level. You do not need to change to enters, especially since it's gonna go back up to wet levels. So I'm going to keep these wets on both of my drivers and have their pace maxed out for majority of this race. As long as, so another tidbit of information for the percentage on your tire wears, your driver starts complaining at about 29%. The tires actually does not affect the pace until it hits about 25, 26. Because I have another race that there'll probably be another video I'll upload where my guy, actually I think it is this race actually, Russell, I think I'm gonna try to have Russell catch Verstappen here, which I'm 16 seconds off at this point. By the time Russell catches up to him, I believe he'll have about 27-ish percentage, and he still fights him a little bit, but once it dropped to like 26, 25, there was just nothing he could do. And so but for the rest of this race, it's just this. It is just Hamilton pulling away and Russell catching Verstappen. Sainz and Verstappen kind of just stay where they are. Russell's gonna fight Verstappen for third, and that's pretty much it. Sorry if my voice sounds a little off. I'm under the weather. I'm quarantining, some would say, right now. So excuse me if I sound a little off, but things happen, so you just gotta roll with it. And but I'm just kind of gonna blast past the rest of this race because this race is dead at this point. Like, I'll probably come back just to show you when the water dips back to enters and show you that it does not change our pace at all. But that'll probably be it up until the end of the race. I kind of want to show you the the George Russell Max Verstappen duel, because it actually got pretty intense. So here we are a couple laps later, and at this point I'm kind of just going through all of the drivers, just seeing what they're doing. As you can see, I dropped the pace down for my two guys by just 1 notch. That pace is also very good. 4 notches also outdoes the CPU majority of the time, because CPU usually only goes 3. So 4 and 5, but I like 5. I like the aggression of 5, obviously. But as you can see, we're just going through people. Everybody's just doing their own thing. There's like nothing going on anywhere. Everybody's gonna stay where they are, except for these two. Alonso and Bottas are like the only two who get action in this race at this point. Those two go at it for pretty much the entire race. I think one of them eventually goes wide or something crazy, but other than that, everybody else is just cruising. Oh, actually, these guys too, the Haas guys and Gasly, they kind of get into it a little bit. I think K-Mag actually goes wide and then ends up blocking Gasly for Mick for the rest of the race. But as you can see, like, I even dropped their pace down a little. I dropped Lewis's down because, I mean, he's just walking away with this. There was no, it didn't matter what I did with Lewis at this point. Lewis was done. He was winning this race no matter what you did. But you got Norris trying to catch Ocon, Stroll trying to catch Norris, Yuki kind of just doing his thing. Oh, nope, he's trying to run away from Guan Yu. We got Albon. He's kind of just, when we get to him here in a second, he's just doing his own thing. He's cruising. He's enjoying Miami scenery at this point. Like, yeah, he has nothing there. Vettel trying to catch Albon, not gonna happen. And Latifi is sim racing. Latifi is just, he's on free practice. But so as you can see, the rainfall is down to 1.51, which is definitely enters. Everybody on the field, I believe, is on full wets also, by the way. Like, even CPUs, all of the CPUs are on full wets. My team is on full wets. You do not need to change it. You can, if these tires can make it to the end, run them to the end, especially if the water's gonna go up again anyway. But now I feel like this video is getting pretty long, so we're just gonna kind of go ahead and go to the end. Now this right here, this is it. This is the end of the race. As you see, Hamilton walked away with it 15 seconds. Russell caught Verstappen. 6 laps left. 30% on the tires. He's even going to complain about the tires, but remember what I said. They won't start dying on you until somewhere between, I'd say between 25, 27. That's the range. You're gonna see it here because we're gonna put up a fight here. We're only 4 tenths away. We're going for it. Like, you see me, I'm checking everything. I'm looking at stuff. He starts talking to me. I'm like, and then I'm also looking like, wait, am I gonna have to stop? Because if I have to stop, Russell's gonna end up in like 6th place. Actually, probably 5th. But still, I'm like, no, we're going for this. It's a wrap. We ain't got nothing to lose. If them tires explode, they got it. They explode in the day. So I tell him, go for it. He pushes. I got the ERS on deploy. Like, this is it. If we don't pass them here and the tires die, then it's over. So we gotta go for it now and then like try to block. So we're going down to 29%. Look, still catching him easily. No problem at all. Verstappen would not. Verstappen is very good at blocking on this game, because anybody else, but probably besides like Hamilton and maybe one other person, Bottas is a good blocker too. Anybody else, I would have beat him right there, and I could have just cruised to 3rd place. Verstappen is not letting it happen. Even right here, anybody else would have passed him. Even got him right here. Bam, got the move. Verstappen is not having it. And that pretty much was all we had left. I think, oh no, he's still going. Look, see, I didn't even know. Look, Russell is Russell's doing all he can. That right there ruined me. I don't know what that move is. They do it a lot because he didn't even need to back out there. I don't think. I could be crazy, and that probably could have caused a wreck in real life if he didn't back out there. I don't know. I'm not a professional, but for me in this game, I wished he didn't back out there. But 28%, we're still going. We're still going, still catching them. Like Russell was trying his best. I wanted my man to get that third place so bad. I wanted him on the podium at that 28%. Everybody else is on low percentages, all wets. Never had to change off the wets throughout the entire race. Remember that. But this right here, I think this is where we die. Yeah. All right, that overheating, never pay attention to that. I run on max pace on both my guys all the time, and they always talk about the tires are overheating, and nothing ever comes of it. This is what ruined the run here, was ERS just ran out. No ERS, tires pretty much dead. There's nothing I could do. Like, he even tried it there. If he had ERS coming out of this corner, I think we could have had him there. But no ERS. Verstappen takes off again. Our percentage is going to dip to like 26, and it's just ball game from there. Like, I'm pretty sure the moment it hits 26, he just can't keep up anymore. But man, it was I even took him out of it. I was just like, it's over. Yeah, and there's the 26 there. Like, I think, yeah, I try to tell him to push again, and you'll see the interval just keeps going up. Like, usually, even with a +4 on the pace, I would still be catching him. But you see he's just walking away from him at this point. There's nothing he can do about it. It is what it is. Russell's gonna have to settle for 4th. Heck of a try though. I was even hoping that I believe that was Tsunoda. I was hoping he would hold him up. Either Tsunoda or Gasly was one of them. But I was hoping, but it didn't happen. But luckily we got 11 seconds on Perez, and he can still walk home with that 26. He still makes it home at the 26. I mean, whatever it's at, he'll do these last 4 laps. He'll be down to like 19 maybe, if that. But like, you see, he's there, and I have pace maxed out. He can't catch him. It's over. Like, he's not. There's nothing he can do with those tires. So remember, when you're doing your tire percentages and when you want to swap off tires, the sweet spot is anytime. I would say anytime before 27%, because 26 is where your tires will fall off completely. So 27%, you should be in pits by the end. And most laps will take about 2 to 4% off, depending on how aggressive you are and what they're having to deal with. So if you're trying to be crazy with it, I wouldn't. By the time you hit like 30%, 29%, you should be telling them to go pit. You can still max their pace out, but you should definitely be telling them to pit. But I mean, there's not much left here for this race. It's over. Russell is gonna stay in 4th. Lewis takes 1st. This is my first P1 of the season. This is Lewis's second podium. I believe it's Lewis's second podium. Mercedes were like 3rd in the standings. I'll show you the standings and everything after this, so you can see all that fancy stuff. So you can see, like, this is not a maxed out team. This is literally, I got the game, picked Mercedes, started playing. So if you just got the game, my Mercedes team is just like that. I haven't made any new parts that could make my team good yet. Like, I have parts in development, but I took the slow route, so they won't be ready for like 2 months. I think I still got like a month left on most of them. So no extra parts. This is stock. This is basically the stock Mercedes team. It's showing you this is how you can win a race that's affected by weather if you don't have the best team. And if you do have the best team, you can implement this strategy and just dominate. But so this is how, that's it. I don't want to talk your head off anymore, so we're just gonna end it there, I guess. And here it is, that P1 camera angle, ladies and gentlemen, coming down the final straight. I think that might be what it's called. I know it's not the start finish straight, obviously. My F1 knowledge ain't amazing. I only recently got into F1, honestly. I can't tell you the exact year, but I can tell you it was Ricardo's last year at Red Bull. So, but this is, I'm gonna shut up and let this rock.
This goes to everyone back in the team, the factories.
What a jump!
Let's see what happened there. And at the end of that final lap, Hamilton has secured the win.
And it's thoroughly deserved. A hugely talented driver and undoubtedly a worthy winner.
Yeah, that's it. My knowledge ain't that expansive or massive, whatever term you want to use to talk about it. It's not that great. That P1 camera angle again. But you know, I got guys I like on every team too, honestly. And so I kind of want to make more videos, maybe do some streams, because I actually want to win a title, want to win a driver's championship with all of my favorite drivers. So Hamilton is pretty much part of the reason I got in. Hamilton and Ricardo are two of the main reasons I got into F1. So this is my first stint here. I'm trying to win that famous one with Hamilton to set the record. Then I also want to win one with Ricardo. I want to get Bottas one. I want to get Charles one too. I want to get Vettel another one. I think it'd be cool to get another one for Vettel. Norris, I want to get one for Norris. Verstappen already got one. I'll probably do a Red Bull one where I get Ricardo back on Red Bull and go do like 2 years. Try to win 1 year with Verstappen and 1 year with Ricardo. We'll see what happens there. Checo and Sainz. I actually lost gas. He died out of gas. But you know, that's more future stuff here and there. We'll see. I mean, if people want to see it or be involved with it, we can make it happen. If not, I'll do it by myself in my own time. I don't care, because I'm having fun with this game. So I can play it with or without people.
More deserving of a podium. Everyone must be ecstatic.
Excuse me, but can we talk about how Verstappen over there hating? What is that? You can't be happy for your boy? Nah, I'm joking. Like I said, I do like Verstappen too. But I mean, that's it for the video. This is just me rambling and just showing you some stuff from the game. I guess I'll show you a little, show you the standings and everything to prove that this is not that great of a team. Like, this is the regular out the box Mercedes. So I'll show you that stuff, and we'll wrap this video up. I mean, that's it. And I'll holler.